Hello and welcome to another Sprues and Brews unboxing. Today we're looking at two new Cerastus Knight kits, the Knight Acheron and the Knight Castigator for Warhammer The Horus Heresy. So first of all, I want to say massive thanks to Games Workshop for sending us free review copies of these to have a look at on the site. A couple of weeks ago we saw the first plastic Cerastus Knight kit come out with the Lancer, and oh boy what an awesome kit it was. Really love the Cerastus Knights, the resin ones. I was a massive fan of. So when they brought out a plastic Cerastus Lancer, it was such a gorgeous kit. If you've seen the previous video we've done on it, which probably will be linked in the description, had such a massive degree of customization and posability, making it just as good as the resin model. And now today up for pre-order are the other two variants of Cerastus Knights, using the core chassis anyway. The Acheron, which is kind of like a flame build of it, and the Castigator, which is like a sword and bolter variant. So both these are in separate kits, and today in the video what we're going to be doing is having a look at the kits, seeing how they go together, seeing how posable they are. And yeah, unfortunately these have turned up a couple of days before the video is due to go live, so I probably won't have paint on these, but I'm going to have these built up so you can see the kind of the posability and the customization on them. And then yeah, we'll be painting these up. I've got enough Knights now to put together a 3,000 point force of Knights for Games of Horus Heresy. So yeah, the plan is get these guys built and painted, and then I think we might even do a battle report with the Knights against Jay's Blood Angels maybe, because I think that'd be a bit of fun. But yeah, these look really cool, and I can't wait to crack them open and have a look what is inside. So we'll take a look at the Acheron first, and obviously this is got like a chainsaw and a big flamer. Interested to see how customizable this one is. With the Lancer, it was very easy to swap around the left and right arm, so I might do that on this one and maybe put the flamer on the other side. Like with the Lancer as well, it looks like it's got a fully detailed interior too and a pilot. A lot of both of these kits are going to be, you know, very much the same, but with a different frame on them to show the different parts to build that variant. I do wonder if we'll get the other Cerastus Knight that I can't remember what these called off the top of my head, but it's got a gravity gun on it. It opens a kind of like mini black hole inside the target, which is really fun. I think that's currently the only one that's still going to be in resin for the time being. But yeah, so that's the Acheron, and over here we've got the Castigator 2. Again, we're going to go for quite a dramatic pose on this. One thing that is worth noting as well is that all these plastic Knights you can build with either the right leg forward or the left leg forward to give them, you know, quite a bit of variety in posing. And you can even file off the little pin that locks those legs in place if you want to do something kind of very dramatic too. So the plan is to get both of these built with quite different stances to show the, you know, the variation that you can do, and then seeing how they stack up model wise compared to the Lancer. So should we open these up and have a look what comes inside? Now, like I say, a lot of these frames are going to be the same across both kits and the same as on the Lancer model, with the main difference really going to be the weapon options on them. So already I can see we've got a new frame here. That looks like a belt for the flamer, so let's pull that out. What we did see on the other Knight was that there was quite a few banners and stuff as well, so I think across this model, in fact all the kits together, we're going to have quite a bit of variety in how they go together. Now we do also get two transfer sheets covering the main households in the Horus Heresy era. This I'm going to be doing as House Malanax, like I did for my Lancer, because they look cool. But yeah, you get a lot of different details on the transfers, which was a really good thing about this kit. Pop that to one side, and we'll have a look. So the main body, obviously that's the same as the existing Lancer kit. So if you've seen that, you kind of know what to expect here. So we've got the main kind of hull bit there. We've got the 2 leg sprues. Again, they're the same as the one that was included on the Lancer, so you get 2 identical ones there. And then you also get the main body assembly as well. So all that stuff we've already seen, that's kind of very similar to the previous kit. We get 2 unique kits in the Acheron though. This looks like it is what builds the kind of feed for the fuel of the flamer. So obviously with this being in lots of different little parts, that suggests that this is going to have a lot of posability in order to get that chain going how you want it. Now obviously it might be a bit fiddly because it's in a million little parts, but ultimately that's going to lead to a more customizable model. So again, we'll see in the instructions how that goes together. And then the main frame for this one, again, are the weapons. So this is how we've seen the rest of these Cerastus Knights go together, with a unique sprue with just the weapons for that kit. And again, looks really, really good. Yeah, I really like that. I'm going to try and have the banners and any kind of like ornamentation on these different across all of the knights, just to show the different kind of customization options you've got on them. But yeah, big chunky sprue with the weapons on. It's going to be fun to build this. So let's have a look at the instructions and see how this one goes together. So again, so far so similar to the existing Knight Lancer. Like I say, you've got quite a lot of options on how you put together the legs. It is really quite customizable. The resin kit obviously has got quite a lot of movement in the legs and how you put it together, and you've got the same thing here. So like with the other Knight, you've got 2 kind of like fixed options with pins that determine the kind of stance of it. But you can actually cut those off and customize those a bit more if you want, so have some more interesting kind of strides and stances. What really helps with that are these pistons that go into the foot joint. Basically slide up and down inside the piston, which means that they can accept quite a lot of movement, which is really good to see. And it also leaves the door open for them being able to do, I don't know, a plastic warhammer or something someday. That kind of moulding would lead itself really well to being able to do something like that. So this builds up the same way. Where we start getting differences is with the flame cannon itself. So we've got that big chain in the kind of fuel tank that runs from the back of it to the weapon itself. What you're probably gonna want to do is just make sure that is how you want it before you glue it. It does look like there might be some flex to it when you put it together, because it looks like you don't glue the centre, which means that chain might actually move a bit, making it a lot easier to put it into position. I know certainly with the Knight Lancer, you've got a lot of rotation and kind of movement on the arm, and if you don't glue all those joints together, you can get it into a really dramatic pose before putting some glue in and then kind of fixing it into the position that you want. So would certainly recommend doing that with this one too, because it's going to make it, well, A, a lot easier to get your pose together, and B, you can kind of trial it out a bit more and have it looking really dramatic and exciting, which is definitely something that you want to do with these big kits, because they look very, very cool. And that's really going to be the only difference between the models of Knight. If we open this up here, we see the melee weapon on there. Again, similar situation, where you've got a lot of degrees of movement in order to get those dramatic poses if you want them. And again, I'll be trying to get a dramatic pose on this to you know, make it look as cool as possible. That's the plan anyway. And then same as the other Knights, the arms kind of twist on, and then the shoulders go on there too. Now for the Lancer, I did this in quite a few sub-assemblies, so I built each arm in kind of completion, just because it was easier to kind of get it all posed and then paint it all in one go once it was glued together. Built the skeleton as a single piece, and then all of the armour panels I left on the sprue. just because it's a lot easier to paint them that way. You can get all the skeleton done, make that look really good, and then get those armour panels on top of it, and then finish it off with all your transfers and stuff. So that is going to be the plan on these two. So that is the Acheron, the Flamer Knight, and then we have got the Castigator, which is the awesome sword and gun one. So again, if we pop that open and have a look inside, and see what we get. And so again, the main difference on this one, I'm not going to go through all the sprues again, but the main difference one, we got the same chain piece, interestingly, on this one. Is it the same one? That might actually be a slightly different one there, again for the feed of the gun, and then we get a separate frame for the weapon. So the rest of the frames in there are going to be the same as the other knights, so we've just looked at them, so we're not going to go through them now, but we'll look at these frames. So yeah, looking at this, I think that is a different, again, kind of feed for that. And again, if this is quite flexible, again, that's going to lead you to be able to do a few different poses with it. I guess originally these would have all been little bits of resin, so probably a bit easier to put together in plastic too. And then the main sprue with the weapon itself. Again, very nice. That sword looks really, really cool and lends itself to some nice kind of like power sword techniques on there. Maybe lots of like vivid blues and lightning bolts. And then you've got the cool kind of bolter mount as well. So yeah, really, really cool looking knight. And again, this one's going to be just as customizable as the other one as well. We'll have a quick look at the instructions of this one, just to see how that goes together. Again, majority of this is going to be the same as the other knights, with the main difference going to be that bolt cannon and the sword on there too. So yeah, it looks like it does go together much the same way though. Again, you build all these weapons independently, then they just twist onto the main frame of the body. And again, we've got that big chain of the feed as well. It looks like that might go on once you've attached the weapons to the body. So if we spin that over, yep, you've then got that feed going from the gun into the backpack. So again, on this one, you're going to want to build this in sub-assemblies again, but it might just depend on how that back bit goes on to how you do that. You can probably leave it all separate fairly well. What I'd probably do is attach maybe that to the back of the knight and attach that to the gun. And then when you twist it on, you can then finally put the shoulder pads on. You'll note that the shoulder pads across the 3 different knights are slightly different as well. Again, adding to a bit of variety. On the Lancer, I built it so that you can open it up and have a look at the interior detail. I may do that on these, or I may close it out and take out that little piece to have as a little diorama maybe. I think it'd be a good thing to do with it. Be a little bit fun to put on the display cabinet. So yeah, that's a quick look at the 2 knights. What we're going to do now is jump to the future and have a look at what these look like assembled. And here's a look at the assembled Cerastus knights. Now unfortunately, due to these turning up like 2 days before me filming this right now, didn't really have enough time to get these both built and painted. However, did manage to get the Flamer Cerastus, the Acheron, built up, ready to be sprayed. So in case you've not seen the Lancer, I have got my Malanax Lancer here, just to see the scale of it. It's quite a big chunky knight. If we grab whatever random figure I've got to one side, so if we look at, there's a Warhammer Underworlds figure, he is massive in comparison, and the Acheron is really, really nice too. So he's got that really nice flame cannon. The left arm here with the chainsaw I've left separate, so that can be removed. The right arm I've put in place because I wanted him in a different pose to the one I've currently got. So he's kind of turning to his left with the flamer kind of like turned ready to fire at something. And if you look compared to the other one too, we can see the flexibility of the legs, where I've actually reversed the leg assembly for the new one, so it's in quite a different pose than the old one, which is nice. For the third one, what I'm going to do is build it in a running pose. So while you can just reverse the legs, and that's cool, there is a lot of flexibility to them, and if you cut off some of the pins and reposition them, you can get some quite dramatic poses. So that's what I'm planning on doing. The coolest thing about this kit, however, as silly as it sounds, is the ammo feed. So if we spin it round, you can see that it's got a fully flexible ammo feed, which is really cool. That's all made up of a number of multiple parts that go together to make that flex. The other knight has got a similar for the belt feed for the bolter, and it's really clever how they've done this. It means that you could, I've glued the arm on this one, but you could leave it off and reposition it, and that feed will flex to move the motion. It also means that you're not limited in how you put this thing together. Really clever bit of engineering. I'll probably splice in an image now maybe of what this looked like being built, but yeah, that is seriously impressive stuff. And yeah, big nice knight. Compared to the other knights, it's got a different helmet on it. Across the three knights, the combination of plates that go on the shoulders is a little bit different as well, so they've got a little bit of variety there. Obviously the two arms are different too. The majority of the kit is the same, but with that extra sprue plus the sprue for the feed itself, yeah, it's really impressive what they've managed to do with it. So yeah, really nice knight. It's a shame I've not got it painted up and got the other knight built, but like I said, I've only had it a couple of days. So the plan is to get some spray paint on this and start airbrushing it up in House Malanax colours. Equally going to build up the other knight in a dramatic pose, like lunging with his sword or something cool like that. That's the plan anyway, so hopefully over the next few nights I'll get that done. If I've got any progress before this video goes up, which is unlikely because it's the Friday now and this video goes up on the Saturday morning, I'll get them added to the video, or at least on the post on the website. If you stay tuned to our Twitter as well, or X, whatever it's called these days, at Sprues and Brews, I'll have some pictures of the other one up there as well, and both of these when they're painted up too. I'm planning on running a 3,000 point Night Force for Horus Heresy, so with these three builds I've got about 6 armigers to build, give them some upgrades, and if there's any space left over I can stick in some allied Mechanicum or something. So yeah, but no, that is the Knight Acheron. He looks really cool. It's ridiculous, but that chain that you can see whipping around in the background is possibly one of the coolest things I've seen them do on a GW kit, and I do wonder if that leaves the door open for other stuff like that in the future. There's lots of cool things they could do that, would make kit building a lot easier. It's not the most fun thing to build, that chain, because it's just lots of identical parts that go together. But like from a technical standpoint, that is definitely a very cool sprue. But yeah, let's look at the new Knight kits. We have got a write-up over on the website too. We've got some images of the sprues and a bit of a write-up on how I found building this thing, so check that over at spruesandbrews.com if you are interested. If you're into Blood Bowl as well, we've also got a video up today on the new vampires for Blood Bowl. And again, over on the website I've got a bit of a write-up about their rules and stuff as well, so yeah, check that out if you're interested. If you have enjoyed the video, give it a like. It helps massively with the algorithm to get it to as many people as possible. And yeah, if not already, give us a follow. We do lots of unboxings and reviews. We've got the podcast that comes out every 2 weeks. Lots of cool stuff on the channel for you to check out. So if you have enjoyed it, why not check the rest of it out? And again, big thanks to Games Workshop for sending us these kits to unbox and review. So until next time, have a great weekend, and we'll see you soon.